What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of the BrandonJaneauShow. As you know, I am Brandon Janeau, and this episode is Bleed Black and Gold. Like always on all podcast platforms, Brandon Janeau Show, YouTube channel, Brandon Janeau Show, and social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, Brandon Janeau Show. Yeah, I had to think these fucking things through. Got so many things going on. Anyway, like I said, welcome to another episode of Bleed Black and Gold. This is where I talk about the Saints, New Orleans Saints. Yeah, it's one of those days. So Saints played the first divisional home game today against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we lost 26-9. Of course, the news coming into the game was pretty much, will Derek Carr play? He played. Doesn't really matter that he played because he didn't do shit the entire fucking game. Um, let's get into this, man. The Saints, the Saints are in a position right now where I feel like a lot of teams are in. Whereas, where it's simple. It's a simple game plan. All you have to fucking do is just execute it. This game, they made it so fucking complicated, and they didn't fucking have to. There wasn't a lot of penalties from us, more in Tampa than it was us. If you actually go check it, there weren't killer penalties on us like it was last week late in that game against Green Bay. The offensive line actually played better this game, despite what people say on social media. Um, Compared to the first three fucking games, Derek Carr's sacks that he took in this game was all because of himself, all because of Derek Carr holding on to the fucking ball too long, which brings me to what I've been saying for the last couple of years. Fire Pete Carmichael. Fire him. I've been saying this shit for years. I've been telling my brother and my brothers and my dad and I group text since fucking 20 since Drew Brees and Sean Payton left. Fire him. This game was so right there for the Saints that I, I, I physically can't even understand it. The Saints literally came out. The first drive was exactly what you were supposed to do. A heavy dose of Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill got involved, get other people involved, and that's okay. Like, and they drove down the field. They didn't get a touchdown, but they kicked a field goal. That's what you're supposed to do. And then after that, they literally abandoned that shit. I have like they did the same shit in the Green Bay game, but at least they came back around in that Green Bay game, and Elvin wasn't even on the field. I didn't see Kendrick Miller. I didn't see Kendrick Miller. Kendrick Miller, the rookie, literally got on the field once today. One fucking time, he got on the fucking football field and he dropped a pass. Like, I get that we were down two tight ends, first in a row, who's only I think played only like one fucking game, and that was I think the Tennessee game, and I can't even say he played in that fucking game. Juwan Johnson was hurt, so you only had Jimmy Graham and Taysom Hill as tight ends. So I can understand you saying you didn't want to use Taysom Hill too much in certain positions, okay, but you could at least use Kendrick Miller, my guy. You didn't even use him. They made this game way harder on themselves, and it didn't have to be that fucking hard. Derek Carr, and like I said, the sacks. I think he took like 3 or 4 sacks this game. He, I'm not blaming the offensive line for that. I'm not. The fact that they gave him all the time in the world to get those passes, and you still, I don't know what the fuck these plays calls were in this game. Pete Carmichael literally, it's one thing for Pete Carmichael to call it. It's a whole other thing you being on the field and trying to execute it. If there's nothing down the fucking field, why don't you give him a chance to have a check down? Go watch the first drive of the game and then watch the second half drives when we actually was driving the ball down the field and executing what the fuck we were supposed to do. In the first half, Derek Carr literally just kept trying to throw the ball down the field, kept trying to throw the ball down the field, kept trying to throw the ball down the field, and there was nothing fucking there. And then second half comes around and you see them running the ball, you see them taking the checkdowns. That's what the fuck you should have been done. But they didn't do it in the first half, and that's what cost us. We get an interception. The refs were on some bullshit because the man, his momentum did not carry him into the end zone. Chris Godwin is literally grabbing him into the end zone. That should have been at the 20. And maybe we call a whole different play, and maybe we get some yardage, maybe. But at the same time, that was a dumbass play call to be at the 1 yard line and give the ball to your fucking fullback. If that is he has not ran a ball. I haven't seen uh, him on the field that much. So for you to give him the fucking ball at the 1 yard line, thinking it was a good sneak play, and then he fumbled, and it would have been a great play if he doesn't fumble the fucking ball. But again, how many times has he carried the fucking football? Like, like it just the fucking play caller was terrible in this game. And again, like I said, I'm not gonna blame the offensive line because the offensive line actually held up. It wasn't that bad of an offensive line game. I know a lot of people say the offensive line sucked. The offensive line didn't suck today. Derek Carr fucked up this game. Simple as that is as simple as it can be. Derek Carr fucked up this game. You should not have held on to the ball, knowing you have an injury that fucking long in this game. He made dumb fucking plays. He made plays that should have never been worse. Worse. The fact that you did not take a simple fucking checkdowns. Alvin Kamara's back. Just throw it to him. See what the fuck happens. The fact of the matter is, you kept holding on to the ball, looking down the field. If nothing's there, take the check down. I don't know why the fuck that was that damn hard. But when the second half rolled around, you saw them when they started to move the ball. They were running and they were throwing the ball down, doing check downs. You would have done that if you would have done that earlier. We probably would have won this game. Another thing, defense. This is 2 weeks now, and I can't even sit here and say the defense in the Green Bay game. The second half of the Green Bay game is a whole other conversation because the offense could never get on the field, stay on the field long enough, and they couldn't do anything. This game was a completely different story. The defense just didn't show the fuck up. I get it. Baker Mayfield is athletic, but he's not that fucking athletic. Like the fact that you made this nigga look like he was back in Oklahoma playing us, like he was having his Heisman year again, was fucking terrible. I get it. Pete Warner, who last year was incredible at certain games, was getting literally juked every 5 fucking plays. Like every time he got on the field and it was out open space, he was getting juked out of his fucking shoes. Like he could not stop a fucking soul in this game. It was terrible. Baker Mayfield beat us. Last year when he beat us with Carolina, that's one thing. The offense sucked. We had a bad quarterback in the game. The receivers got injured. That's one thing. We were at full strength and we couldn't beat them. Not only that, we lost to Baker Mayfield when he lost his best fucking receiver in Mike Evans, and we still couldn't beat them. They were a terrible running team last game against Philly. They couldn't run the ball at all. They ran over 100 yards on us. This is my problem with. This is what I say always to my brother Wine when we do our show. If your calling card when you become a head coach was one side of the football, like the reason why Kyle Shanahan works is because the offense in San Francisco is going to work regardless. Because Kyle Shanahan calls plays. He knows what he wants. He knows what he needs to execute. The reason why Mike Tomlin has been so dominant for all 15 years now in Pittsburgh. Don't get it twisted for this year. But the reason why Mike Tomlin has always been dominant in Pittsburgh for all those years is because his calling card has always been defense. It has never changed. The reason why I have a massive problem with the Chargers is because their fucking head coach is supposed to know how to call defense, and he can't fucking do it. Dennis Allen right now is starting to fall into that line of where the Chargers are. Why I don't like the Chargers head coach is because this is now 2 weeks in a row, second half of the last game, and now this game, where you cannot stop a fucking soul. We're losing to worse offenses. These offenses are not fucking good, and we are losing to them. Detroit played Green Bay this Thursday. You want to ask me how Green Bay offense looked against that Detroit defense? Tampa Bay got their ass outclassed last week against the Philadelphia Eagles. Did you watch that game Monday night? Because they couldn't fucking move the football. They play us, and it literally felt like we were like, we'll get them next time. The fuck? Are you serious? I know Paul said Debo is hurt, and I know he hasn't played in 2 weeks. But they got to figure out that secondary. We go against the Patriots next Sunday in New England. The Patriots are losing right now to Dallas. And as little as the Patriots have offense, they can beat us. Because I don't trust our offense against that defense. Simple assignments, like just taking what the defense gives you. It is not that fucking hard. Just take what the defense is giving you. The fact of the matter is, we know we got fast receivers. The fucking world know we got fast receivers. You trying to throw the ball to Chris Olave and Rashad Shaheed when the defense already is like, you're not getting past us. The fact of the matter is, we now have Alvin Kamara in the game. Use him. We're not getting Jamal Williams back until, what, past the Houston game? So Jacksonville? No, he went on IR last week. So 4 games. So last week, this week, Patriots game and a Texas game. So we don't get him back to the Jacksonville Jaguars game Thursday night. You have to help Alvin Kamara. You have to. This was a terrible game. They were booing this team. I haven't heard the city boo the Saints in some years. They were booing them. Fucking booing them. When the city is booing your own fucking team, that tells you something. We're 2-2. The best thing for the Saints is that we won those first 2 games because we look absolutely fucking dead in the water. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do. Derek Carr doesn't look hurt, which is a good thing. He looks mentally out of it, and that's not a good thing. Pete Carmichael sucks as offensive coordinator. He's always sucked as offensive coordinator. People forget when Sean Payton was injured, when Sean Payton got injured, and he wasn't on the sidelines, and even when he got suspended, that offense wasn't that fucking good. He's never been a good peak offensive coordinator. But again, Derek Carr, you still have to fucking execute. Again, the offensive line actually played better than what I expected them to play. Matter of fact, when Cesar Ruiz come back, like I said last week, Andrews Pete needs to be in the starting rotation. James Hurst sucks as an offensive lineman. You can actually tell when you didn't hear Trevor Penning this whole game today, did you? Trevor Penning, who's been suffering for most of these weeks, you didn't hear him at all this week, did you? Ryan Ramczyk, who has been such a great offensive lineman, He sucked a lot this year, but this game he didn't really suck this bad. That's what I'm saying. Like the offensive line did not play bad this week. If you actually watch the game full, the sack that Derek Carr took was all on Derek Carr. That was Derek Carr's fault because you're trying to throw the ball deep and nothing's there. When I'm looking at the fucking game and I'm like, you got Alvin Kamara right here, you got Jimmy Graham right here. Throw the fucking ball. Just take what the defense is giving you. But no, you want to throw the ball down the field and nothing's there. So now you taking sacks. I don't know what the fuck they got to tell him, but I hope he's watching tape and realizing in the second half when we started to move the ball, I started just taking what the defense was giving me. Maybe I should do that more. Hopefully that resonates. I know we're injured in the backfield, like I said, in the secondary, but when Mike Evans falls, Marshawn Lattimore need to be on Chris Godwin. That is the dumbest decision. This is the second straight week now I've seen the defense when the outside should not be somebody that's pretty much untested in our defense that hasn't been in that defense very fucking long. That should not be the case. Marshawn Lattimore should be on the fucking outside while you have some safety help in the inside with these receivers. That is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. You keep putting the fucking cornerback over here. Marshawn Lattimore in the second half. When you knew Mike Evans wasn't coming back, I saw Marshawn Lattimore and Chris Godwin once. One time. What defense is that, Dennis Allen? What the fuck are you doing, dude? This is the second time in two fucking games now where you completely fucked up the plays. Like, what are you doing, dog? A lot of bust coverages in this team. This team is just. It's only week 4. You still have time to go. The division's not out of hand. We can easily win this division. Tampa Bay is not this fucking good. They're going to eventually hit the fuck. Baker Mayfield will eventually come back to the memes. Atlanta doesn't have an offense outside of Bijan Robinson, and that's pretty much fucking it. And Carolina lost to Minnesota, which means they're now 0-4, and they're pretty much going to be the second pick in a draft, depending on what Chicago does in the next couple of fucking months. We can win this division. We gotta get the fuck out of our own way. And the problem with that is, I don't think we will. And I think because we know we're not in a hurry, because we know we can just turn it on whenever. But that's a problem. Listening to the commentators today, he's right. A lot of these receivers just didn't have any intensity. They didn't care. Like they after a while, they were just like running the route, and there was just no burst, no nothing. It was like once we get something good, then we'll do the burst and everything. But there was nothing. There was nothing. And it's getting to the point now. It's like we talking about all these other teams. How about is the Saints losing faith in Dennis Allen? Like a lot of these players probably be listening to this dude and be like, man, shut the fuck up. Like I said, next week we got 2 straight road games: New England and Houston. I'm going to the Houston game. I'll talk about that after I get out. I leave. But next week in New England, boy, this is a hard one. This is gonna be a hard game for us because Tampa Bay's defense is not that fucking good. The fact of the matter is, we play to what their strength is. Their strength is literally forcing. Their strength is what the fuck we did today. Holding on to the ball too long, trying to throw the ball deep, trying to create opportunities that's not fucking there, and not taking what the defense has given us. And the fact of the matter is, we play into their strength. Now defense for us, we also fucked up. What we did was literally give Baker Mayfield open space. And like I said, he wasn't that fucking fast. But the fact of the matter is, our defense just overplayed plays, and we just could not execute defensively. And Dennis Allen now, you on a clock, kid? Because I watched the Washington Commanders today with Eric Bieniemy. And I'm about to start saying fuck if we lose next week to New England, man. You think I'm gonna be on here next week saying fuck Dennis Allen. Let us lose these next couple of weeks. Get at least a good pick. Drafts, draft something. I wouldn't say get rid of that car, but draft something. Draft another maybe wide receiver, a cornerback, somebody, a good corner or something. Maybe get in the top five and we can get Marvin Harrison Jr. And then I say, you know, fire Dennis Allen, bring in Eric Bieniemy as the head coach. I'm getting close. I mean, next week is Dennis Allen's on the hot seat to me personally because this shit is fucking terrible. This is now the second straight week where your defense didn't show the fuck up. Second half against Green Bay, and now the entire game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Baker fucking Mayfield. I don't understand that shit. I don't understand that. Anyway, like I said, next week, excuse me, we play against New England in Foxborough. I don't know what the game's gonna be. I really don't know. Uh, and I can't even tell y'all. I don't know. Until then, I'm Brandon Janeau. This is Bleed Black and Gold, and Saints and out 2-2.